I guess in my sector, our competition's quite predictable. There's 3 of us, 9 times out of 10. So I came to this conference and people like Shipley to learn more about strategies when facing predictable competitors, modelling. They had a competitor session about modelling bid scores and value stuff and that sort of stuff.
Hi, I'm Mark Taylor. I'm Managing Director of Shipley UK, and Joe's asked a question about a scenario where he feels he's always bidding against the same people, and he's asking how can he model that, or how can he deal with that scenario. So on the one hand, Joe's in quite a good position because he knows his competition, and I guess he knows their strengths and weaknesses well, and that's a good thing. Conversely, he's in a difficult position because the danger is he could easily get into a commodity scenario where it just becomes a shootout on price. So I've put 3 ideas on the flip chart here just to talk very briefly about. Number one, if we're in that scenario where we're bidding against the usual suspects, I think number one, we need to think about our market positioning and be consistent with how we are positioning ourselves, and it's important to make sure that carries through into how we bid. And that, for me, helps us think about who is what I would call our ideal customer. Who is going to be a really good fit for us, because that brings us into bid/no bid decisions. Because if the customer does not match our ideal customer, then maybe we should no bid, because that's just wasting Joe's time and potentially wasting the customer's time as well. And number 3, and the most, I guess, important point, is whilst the competition might be the same and the usual suspects, customers will change all the time in terms of their perceptions, for example. So if Joe can develop a really good understanding of how his product is perceived as compared to how the other products are perceived, he can then make a much more nuanced approach to his win strategy. I've used the word perception because I'm making the point it's not about what Canvas necessarily thinks their strengths and weaknesses are against the other products and services. It's more about how the customer perceives those strengths and weaknesses. And of course that can be true, it could be a false impression, but nonetheless that's what Joe's got to deal with. So for me, on top of the analytical modelling that Joe I think saw in the session he attended, it's about also understanding how his product might be perceived by the customer compared to his competitors. So they're my 3 thoughts. Welcome the thoughts of anyone else, and thanks Joe for the question.